Yeah, I think when we get in our meetings and we talk to our coaches and listen to our coaches, and we value the traits of decision making, anticipation, accuracy, um, the playmaking ability to make plays off schedule. Those were some of the big things that really stood out throughout our evaluations of Zach.
What do you make of the kind of criticism or the question about who he played in 2020, the BYU schedule, and whether that factored into the numbers he produced in 2020?
Yeah, I think having been asked questions about the strength of schedule, look, that's not his fault. No more than it was, Steve McNair's fault of Alcorn State's schedule when he was coming out. He doesn't make those decisions. But I think it was cool to see a young quarterback go into an SEC environment in 2019 and win a game at Tennessee, to go and play USC Trojans early last year, win that game. So it's not like he hasn't played high level competition before.
Joe, what made you pull the trigger and trade up to number 14, the number 14 pick?
Yeah, I think where we were sitting at 23, we felt we had a unique opportunity to get really a top 10 player in our minds as our board was stacked, to go up and get a guy like Elijah Vera-Tucker, a player that has started at tackle, has started at guard, and has been highly productive at both. So that versatility and that production is something that we really value.
With a quick follow-up, he played a little bit of left tackle and left guard. Where are you going to have him playing for the New York Jets?
Look, I think Elijah, like every one of our rookies, are going to have a great opportunity to come in here and compete. And so I know we have a lot of guys on our offensive line that have played multiple positions, from Connor McDermott playing tackle and guard to Connor McGovern can play center and guard. So he's going to come in and compete, and ultimately we're going to have our best 5 offensive linemen on the field come opening Sunday.
So last week you talked about the intangibles that you wanted in a quarterback. In your conversations with Zach and with other coaches, his coaches, what do you like about him?
Love the confidence, love the energy, love the passion. You see just in our Zoom calls, one of the things that really stood out was just his intensity. He was on the other edge of his seat. He was close to the camera. You could tell how intensely focused he was. And then on top of it, just the mental horsepower, the recall, going through these plays and knowing exactly the situation, the play call, the audibles, how the defense was going to react. So just really impressive. Every hurdle that we had in our pre-draft process, we felt like he cleared.
Hey, Robert, just a question for you. Just Zach Wilson, what did you like about him in this process? And, what makes him the guy for you?
Joe just hit it. The things that we value out of quarterback play is, he checks every box. You talk about arm strength and accuracy, check. Ability to work off schedule and make plays, check. Fearless in the pocket, check. His ability to recall, process, and make the right decisions to get the ball where it needs to go without turning the ball over. When you look at his freshman year and his last year, I think he had six interceptions in out of those 2 seasons, which is remarkable, especially with the touchdown ratio he had. So he's a special young man. His mental horsepower, like Joe just mentioned, is through the roof. We're really excited to have him part of New York Jets. So,
Carter.
I love y'all, man. They weren't kidding when they said they weren't kidding when they said New York media was aggressive. But no, it's a great question, Rich. But I'm excited to get him in the building as soon as possible. Excited for the first meetings, and give the kid an opportunity to introduce himself to the teammates and go one step at a time. And y'all can ask me that in training camp.
The West Coast scheme is one of the best schemes. Well, you say it's the best scheme in the world. How does Zach Wilson fit into that?
You know, I'm biased towards the scheme we run. I've been blessed to be a part of it for many years. So, you know, when you look at Zach, a lot of the principles that he played in college, you can see it. They ran a lot of our system, and so you can see him making all those throws. You can see the deep bench routes to the sideline. You can see the over the middle throws. You can see the boots, the play action pass game. You can see all of it, and during his pro day, you know, they ran a lot of the routes that we run. They made all those throws, so you could see him have success in our system. So there's going to be some carryover, but at the same time, I just think this system is built for quarterbacks. It is a quarterback-friendly system. It's designed to help these kids. It's pitch and catch, max protection, two-man concepts, balls out of their hands, and it's in and out of their hands as quickly as possible. So, and you need to have an accurate quarterback who has a tremendous amount of mental horsepower, and he's got all of it.
I know that Zach was the guy for you guys. Was it before the pro day? Was it leading into it, or did the pro day kind of seal the deal, so to speak? When did you know that at number 2 we're taking Zach Wilson?
I think the pro day really helped solidify the decision. Just having time to leading up to the pro day to spend time with him on the Zoom call. Obviously done a lot of work on him prior to even the season ending. Just watching the tape and watching his unbelievable junior year. But I think Dennis, ultimately that pro day really cemented it.
Joe, is there any possibility of you trying to trade back into the 3rd round, or trading back up or trading back down to get some more picks?
Yeah, I think. Look, we've been able to acquire a lot of picks, and you saw the flexibility that gave us tonight. And look, we'll see how tomorrow goes. Obviously, we're going to have discussions. We'll see if the phone rings. We're open to any discussion, as I've told you guys in the past. So we'll see how it plays out over the next 2 days.
Joe, there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk about how the pandemic and things like that have made evaluating this year's class a little bit harder compared to next year, where you should have the full season and all that stuff. Did that play a role in your willingness to give up 2 3rd-round picks to move up? Like, did that kind of make you more apt to be okay dealing those selections this year?
Yeah, that's a great question, Connor. I think you're right. I think there are, with so much uncertainty this year, not being able to go in the schools. I think you're going to see teams really value next year's picks at an even higher rate than they would in normal drafts. But I think for us, this really came down to having a player in our top 10 sitting there and us having the ability to have the picks to go get this player, someone we feel like can help us for a long time here. And, we're always going to try to be strong up front, both sides of the ball. So this goes into that.
During the run up to tonight, did any teams call, to inquire about obtaining the 2nd pick?
Rich, I'd just say, I'd tell you, it was pretty quiet leading up to our call with Zach.
So
take a couple more for Coach and Joe.
Zach isn't the biggest guy. And had shoulder surgery already, had some injury issues as a sophomore. Was durability a concern at all during this process?
Well, I think that was one of the final hurdles that we just wanted to make sure we had all the right information on. Dave Zuffaletto, Dr. Montgomery, they've done a great job of acquiring so much information in a difficult year to do it. I mean, we talk about how difficult this year was for scouts. It was also difficult for doctors and trainers to get information, but ultimately, we feel really good about where Zach is physically.
Hey Joe, it's Kim Jones. I have 2 quick ones, if I could. On Vera-Tucker, Daniel Jeremiah said on NFL Network tonight that he'll line up at left guard. Whether he knows that or was just guessing, or that I'm not sure of. But would there be something about Vera-Tucker that would make him particularly effective lining up next to Mekhi Becton?
Yeah, Kim, I think I'm guessing Daniel probably said that because, look, before this year, Elijah was a left guard, and he was a really good left guard. And this year, he was a really good left tackle. So obviously, him playing on the left side for the majority of his career, being in that left-handed stance, being comfortable in that left-handed stance, that's probably why that was said. Now, with him being the athlete and the versatility that he has, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for him being in a right-handed stance either. But just excited to get him in here and start competing.
And about Zach, did he, in your Zoom processes, did he talk to Mike LaFleur in great detail about the offense?
Absolutely.
Okay, can you shed some light on what you guys gleaned from that?
Yeah. So obviously, not to get into all the nuts and bolts of our process, but a big part of it was just watching his tape with him and him detailing and outlining all the intricate details of his offense in that specific play. And, Coach LaFleur, Coach Knapp, Coach Calabrese did a great job running those meetings for every quarterback. But obviously, Zach really stood out with his recall, his focus, his intensity, his passion. It all stood out.
I have a quick question for Robert, if you may. Robert, I know that you're Muslim and Ramadan's been going on. So how have you been able to balance requirements for Ramadan along with still doing your actual job, which is being the head coach of the New York Jets?
Football occupies the mind, so it makes it easy. So I know it's a little boring answer, but the day flies pretty quick, especially since we've been able to have these Zoom meetings with all the men.
Defense for you?
That's a blessing of being the head coach, right? That's a blessing of being the head coach, right? I'm on all three sides, so all three phases. I'm cheering for all of them. I think Joe's done an unbelievable job in this first round, and I can't wait to see what trick he has up his sleeve next. So it's gonna be awesome.
The air, so I was unfortunately couldn't ask you this question earlier. But my overall feeling is, as you go home tonight, do you feel like this ball club is improved in a big way? How do you put it in perspective?
I feel like this ball club's improved, and I feel good about the two people and players that we brought in and the leadership that they're going to bring, and just ecstatic really about these two young men.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.